This is You're Probably Right. Entertainment first, everything else is just bonus. Opinions, all ours. Sometimes backed by research, but never the final word. There are always exceptions, so take it with a grain of salt and a slight dusting of chili powder.
Hey, sit down there for a second. Let me talk to you. Some people don't choose black men because they think they know us. They choose us because they think they already know what we're supposed to be. That is the part that I want to sit on a little bit today. I'm not going to rush past anything. Well, maybe I will. I'm not trying to dress it up, not trying to be cute. Well, because this is one of those things that hides in, as they say, plain sight. People will call it attraction. They will call it preference. They'll call it chemistry. They'll say things like, well, I just like what I like. And listen, obviously, everybody likes what they like. I'm not here to tell people who to be attracted to. I'm not here to pretend physical attraction doesn't matter. It matters. Color matters. Culture matters. Voice matters. Body matters. Style matters. Presence matters. All of that can play a part in attraction. But there is a difference between being attracted to someone and building a whole fantasy around what you think they're supposed to be. There's a difference between liking a black man and wanting a black man to perform the version of blackness you already created in your mind or in your friend group or your family's mind. And that is where things get messy. Of course they do. Because sometimes the black man is not being chosen as a man, he's being chosen as skin, chosen as culture, chosen as country, chosen as body, chosen as rhythm, chosen as danger, chosen as confidence, chosen as sexuality, chosen as strength, chosen as some idea somebody picked up from a music video, from movies, locker room talk, family gossip, social media, history, fear, desire, and plain old ignorance. And the man himself is standing there thinking, I thought we were just talking. But no, he has already been cast. So let's go. The strange thing about being a black man is that people often think they know something about you before they know you. They don't know your birthday. They don't know your family. They don't know your values. They don't know what kind of love broke your heart. They don't know what kind of father you had, if you had one at all. They don't know if you pray. They don't know if you overthink. They don't know if you're shy. They don't know if you're gentle. They don't know if you're tired. But somehow they think they know your energy. They think they know your masculinity. They think they know how you dance. They think they know what kind of music you like, should like. They think they know what you like in private. They think they know what kind of anger you carry. Civil rights movement, right? They think they know what kind of confidence you must have. Big up. And sometimes they think they know what you're supposed to be like because of your shade. If you're dark skinned, they attach a story. If you're light skinned brown, they attach another story. If you're high yellow, they attach another story. If you've ever, well, of course, there's other features of color because they call some mixed, right? They attach another story. If your body is built a certain way, they attach a story. If you have a Caribbean background, another story. African background, another story. American background, another story. If you're from Atlanta, New York, another story. Canadian born, another story, Drake. It becomes a menu, but the man is not a menu. He is a person. And that's the problem. The color chart, nobody admits they carry. Let's talk about color. Because people act like color is only discussed honestly inside the Black community. Nope. Other people see it too. They may not always say it cleanly, but they see it. They know what they are drawn to. Some people like the deep chocolate skin. Some people like the golden brown skin. Some people like the light brown skin. Some people like the Prince type. Some people like the Idris Elba type. Some people like the Buju Banton type. Some people like Michael Jackson before the world got strange. Some people like the Michael B. Jordan body image. And again, attraction isn't a crime, you see. But here is where it becomes strange. When people describe Black men like dessert, decoration, danger, or physical experience, but they don't seem equally interested in the man's mind, history, boundaries, or character, that's when we got a problem. Because now you are not loving a man, you are consuming an image. Dark skin gets turned into strength, light skin gets turned into beauty. How's that here? Certain features get turned into status, certain bodies get turned into fantasy. Certain accents get turned into excitement. Certain culture get turned into flavor. But where is the person? Where is the man? Where is the human being underneath all of the admiration? That is what I keep coming back to. A Black man can be looked at, wanted, desired, chased, praised, and still not be seen. That is a lonely thing. Because being desired can look powerful from the outside. People might say, "What are you complaining about?" Somebody wants you. But being wanted for a stereotype is not the same as being loved. What happens when I look one way but I act another way? Being wanted for your color is not the same as being understood. Being wanted for your body is not the same as being respected. Being wanted for your culture is not the same as being safe. And I think some Black men know this feeling, even if we don't always know how to explain it. How am I doing so far? You can feel when someone is looking at you. You can feel when someone is looking through you. Jamaican fantasy. Check it out. Now I will speak from my own place for a minute. I was born in Toronto. Both of my parents were Jamaican. Not in some made-up version of Jamaica that people carry in their heads. Not just Kingston, not just dance hall videos, not just beaches, not just the part that tourists understand. My family is from Hanover. 2 of 4 kids in my family were born in Jamaica, and 2 of us were born in Canada. My parents had been in Canada for about 7 years before I was born. My father came from an older generation. He was older than Malcolm X, older than Martin Luther King, older than Muhammad Ali. He lived in places like Florida, Boston, London, England, before he came to Canada. He knows what it is to be called a boy, and you're a grown man. He passed down some of those stories, experiences that he went through, not from some dude I watched on a YouTube video or some person who tried to give a lecture at a college or university about blackness. I was born into it. My grandfather was born in Jamaica around the 1870s. That's right, my grandfather, not my great-grandfather or my great-great-great-grandfather. So when somebody has the nerve to tell me I'm not Jamaican, I have to pause, because what exactly are you talking about? Is it because I don't eat escovitch fish? Is it because red snapper is not my favorite thing to eat? How far removed am I supposed to be? One generation, half a generation, one passport, one hospital room? Because if a Chinese child is born in Toronto to Chinese parents, people still recognize the Chinese ancestry. If an Italian child is born in Toronto to Italian parents, people still recognize the Italian ancestry. If a Greek child is born in Toronto to Greek parents, people still recognize Greek ancestry. If somebody has a last name from another culture, people hear it and respect that. There is background there. Now, of course, it's a little bit different when you're black in general, because we all have, most of us, I won't say we all, many of us have European last names. I have 4 I can go back to, from the last name of my father, my mother's maiden name, and both sides, both parents on both sides of that. Can't go much farther than that, though, personally. Unfortunately, I wish I could. But when it comes to black people, sometimes people get very comfortable erasing the connection. Oh, you're not Jamaican, you're Canadian. Yes, I'm Canadian. I was born here. But why does one truth have to murder the other? That is the part that gets twisted. Because when it comes to belonging, people may tell you you're not Jamaican, but when it comes to stereotypes, suddenly you're Jamaican. Enough. And that's the line right there. Funny how I'm not Jamaican when it comes to belonging, but I'm Jamaican enough when somebody wants the fantasy. If somebody wants the accent, the confidence, the dancehall image, the strongman image, the sexual mythology, the coolness, the edge, the food, the culture, the flag, then suddenly your background counts. But if you claim it with pride, now people want to check your papers, your card. That is not honest. That is convenient. I remember playing sports and seeing how people react when blackness doesn't match their expectations. If I played basketball, well, nobody's shocked. Although my father taught me cricket, and most of the black people in Jamaica play soccer a lot more than they do basketball. But hey, I was born in Canada, right? People just accept that you play basketball. Of course, black guy, basketball, makes sense. But if I played hockey, well, now people were confused. Now it was, what are you doing here? Like I had walked into the wrong movie. But I was born in Toronto, home of the Maple Leafs. I grew up here. I went to school here. They taught me hockey. They taught me basketball. They didn't teach me curling, by the way. They taught me what they taught every other kid. So why is it strange that I could play hockey? Why is it only normal when I fit a stereotype? That is what people don't understand. Stereotypes are not only insulting when they are negative, they are also insulting when they are flattering. Because even the flattering stereotypes is still a cage, and I refuse to live in a cage, anything close to it. If you assume I can jump, that is still a box. If you assume I can dance, that's still a box. If you assume I am strong, that is still a box. If you assume I have confidence, that's still a box. If you assume I am sexual, that is still a box. If you assume I am dangerous, that's a box. If you assume I'm cool, that is a box. And I can go back for each one of those. I used to be able to jump high. Can't anymore. Used to be able to dunk. I'm under 6 foot. Could I dance? Sort of. Am I strong? I guess so. Confident. Well, I'm an introvert. And I don't like public speaking. So am I confident? Sexual? Well, I guess we're all sexual, but I guess the real question is, obviously, I'm not going to answer that here. Am I dangerous? I guess like anybody else, I could be. Am I cool? I try to play cool, but sometimes not so much. And maybe I can do some of those things and be some of those things naturally. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can't play basketball and hockey. Maybe I can dance and I'm still awkward. Maybe I can be strong and still be tired. Maybe I can be confident and still be insecure. Maybe I can be Black, Jamaican, Canadian, thoughtful, spiritual, funny, wounded, serious, romantic, private, confused, all at the same time. Because that is what people are. People are not categories, people are contradictions. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Now we have to talk about the part people often whisper about. Because a lot of those, because a lot of this choosing black men, is not just about skin culture, it's about sexual mythology. I'm going to keep it clean, but I'm going to keep it honest. Some people look at black men with assumptions about what must be truly physical, what must be true sexually, what must be true behind closed doors, what must be true because of the rumors, jokes, movies, music, history, and foolish conversations people had when they should have been reading a book. And the strange part is, men are often told to accept this as a compliment. You should be happy, said my Asian friend. She wants you. You're being desired. What's the problem? The problem is that being sexualized is not the same as being respected. The problem is that a man can be wanted and still feel reduced. The problem is that somebody can desire your body and have no interest in your humanity at all. Many guys know what this is like. A woman chose you because you have a good job, you make money, drive a good car, have a house, but when they move in, they want you to go find your man cave and not talk so much. Or be friendly to your friends, but not too friendly to your friends. A black man can be treated like he is supposed to be dominant, experienced, powerful, endlessly ready, endlessly confident, endlessly available, and never emotionally complicated. Sorry. What happens when he's tired? What happens when he's gentle? What happens when he needs assurance or reassurance? What happens when he wants emotional safety? What happens when he's not interested in being somebody's fantasy? All the black guys who have been tapped at a party or a club or randomly on the street with a lot of people just because of the way you look. That is when you find out if he was loved or used. Because if a person only wants the strong, sexual, confident version of a black man, they don't want a man. They want a character. They want somebody to play a position. And characters don't need rest. Characters don't have family pain. Characters don't have childhood wounds. Characters don't have faith questions. Characters don't have fear. Characters don't have complicated days, but men do. Real men do. This is where I think black men have to be honest too, though. Sometimes being chosen by fantasy can feel good at first. Trust me. Let's not pretend. Attention feels good. Desire feels good. Being noticed feels good. Being told you are attractive feels good. Being told you have presence feels good. Being treated like you have something rare can feel good, especially in a society that has spent so much time disqualifying black men. A society that has feared us, used us, mocked us, copied us, punished us, admired us, and misunderstood us, sometimes all in the same breath. Well, you don't like that. You don't do that. So when someone chooses you, it can feel like a win. But you have to ask, what exactly are they choosing? Are they choosing me? Or are they just choosing what they think I represent? Like choosing a shirt off of a rack? Because there is a difference. Some people don't want a black man. They want access, access to culture, access to body, access to a story, access to a movement, access to excitement, access to rebellion, access to something they think will make their life feel less ordinary and more exotic, maybe. But I'm not here to be your escape from boredom, plain Jane. I'm not here to be your passport. I'm not here to be in your music video. I'm not here to prove that you are open minded. I'm not here for your family rebellion. I'm not here for the stories you tell at brunch. I'm not your chance to say, I've always wanted to try that. Try what? That is not, this is not a sample table at Costco. This is a human being, the black woman question. And then there's another layer. Black women may look at this and wonder why some black men get chosen outside the community, why some black men choose outside the community. That is a real conversation. And it has many sides. Some of it is love, some of it is proximity, some of it is personal experience, some of it is pain, some of it is preference, some of it is colorism, some of it is status, some of it is escape. Some of it is the belief that being chosen by someone outside your own group proves something, does it? But here's where it gets complicated. Sometimes black men are chosen by non-black women in ways just because of the way he looks, they admire the way you look. But really, it's just fantasy. And sometimes black women can see the fantasy from a mile away. They can see that he is being praised for the same things they were told to tolerate, fight through, or understand. They can see a man being treated like a prize because of his blackness, while they themselves may have been overlooked, judged, or disrespected because of their blackness. That creates pain. That creates questions. That creates resentment. And honestly, some of those questions are fair. But the point of this piece is not to attack interracial relationships, and that would totally be lazy. Love can happen anywhere. People can love across cultures with honor, humility, and respect. The issue is not who loves who. The issue is whether love is actually love. If someone chooses a black man because they respect him, learn him, honor him, and see him as a full person, that's one thing. If someone chooses a black man because they want a fantasy with a pulse, that's something else. Black men need to know the difference. The damage is not always loud. Sometimes the damage is quiet. It shows up when a black man starts editing himself to stay desirable, to be this way or to be that way, to throw on an accent at the right time, to act all bad, to act upright. It becomes more cultural when they want culture, more masculine when they want strength, more sexual when they want fantasy, more quiet when they don't want his opinion, more funny when they don't want his pain, more calm when they don't want his anger, more agreeable when they don't want his boundaries. And little by little, he starts losing the ordinary freedom to just be himself. That is the real cost. Because the world already puts pressure on black men to perform strength, perform endurance, perform confidence, perform toughness, perform success, perform coolness, perform resilience, perform emotional control. Then you get into a relationship and you may still be asked to perform. Now it's not the world. Now it's a person who claims to love you. And that's a different kind of wound, because you can fight society from a distance, but it's harder to fight a stereotype when it sleeps right next to you. It's harder when the person touching you still doesn't see you. It's harder when the person saying they want you keeps reducing you to some myth. It's harder when the desire becomes another form of misunderstanding. So what would respect look like? Respect would sound like curiosity without ownership. It would sound like, tell me about your background, tell me about your family, not perform your background for me. It would sound like, I love your skin, but also I care about your mind. It would sound like, I'm attracted to you, but also I don't reduce you to what I imagine. It would sound like, I want to understand your culture, but also I won't use your culture as a decoration. It would sound like, I desire you, but also you are not a body to me. You are a person. Respect means you don't punish the man when he doesn't match your fantasy. Respect means you don't act disappointed when he is softer than you expected. Respect means you don't act confused when he is smarter than you assumed. Respect means you don't act betrayed when he is Canadian and Jamaican at the same time. Respect means you don't treat his background like a costume you can enjoy when it's fun and when it's powerful and when it's big, and dismiss it when it requires understanding. Respect means you stop asking a man to prove he belongs to the identity you already decided that he should represent. Now, I could be wrong, but this is what I see. That is why the podcast is called You're Probably Right, right? I'm not sitting here acting like I have all the answers. I'm observing life. I'm looking at patterns, I'm looking at behaviors, I'm looking at what people say, what people do, and what people pretend not to know. And what I see is this: Black men often get chosen before they get known. They get chosen for darkness, chosen for lightness, chosen for good hair, get chosen for long dreadlocks, chosen for features, for a body type, for a country, for culture, chosen for imagined sexuality, chosen for rhythm, chosen for confidence, chosen for stereotype strength, chosen for what other Black men did in sports, music, film, history, comedy, crime, beauty, violence, fashion, fantasy. Get chosen because you look like a Tyson Beckford. You get chosen because you look like a bodyguard at a nightclub. You get chosen because you can dance like Chris Brown. Very rarely do you get chosen because if you're intelligent like a Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then the individual man has to stand there carrying a bill for a meal he never ordered. That is the absurdity. A Black man can be judged by another Black man he has never met, desired because of another Black man he doesn't resemble, feared because of another Black man's image, measured by another Black man's body, expected to perform another Black man's confidence, rejected because he doesn't fit another Black man's stereotype, and somehow he is supposed to just smile. No. At some point, you have to ask, do you want me or do you want the idea that came before me? That you saw in a picture or in a movie, on a field, on a court, singing a song. So here's where I landed. Some people don't love Black men. They love the myth about Black men. They love the color, they love the body, the rhythm, the culture, the accent, the country. They love the image of strength. They love the supposed danger. They love the supposed confidence. They love the supposed sexuality. They love the story they think comes with us. But when the real man shows up, they don't always know what to do. When he has opinions, now he's difficult. When he has standard, now he's controlling. When he is sensitive, he's weak. When he is tired, now he is not the man they imagine, and maybe he's just lazy. When he is Canadian and Jamaican, now they want to debate his identity. When he plays basketball, he fits. When he's the best hockey player out on the ice, confuses them. When he's strong, they admire him. When he needs softness, they disappear. That's not love. That is conditional fascination. And fascination is not enough. Trust me. If you choose a black man, choose the man, not the myth, not the color chart, not the body type, not the country fantasy, not the bedroom rumors, not the music video, not the athlete. We're not all Usain Bolt. Not the rebel story. We're not all Maroons from Jamaica. Maroons. Not the proof that you are open-minded. Not the chance to say you had an experience. Choose the man. The man with history, the man with family, the man with pain, the man with humor, the man with confusion, the man with faith, the man with limits, the man with contradictions, the man who may be African American or Jamaican Canadian, the man who may love basketball and hockey. Well, not so much anymore. The man who may be strong and tired, the man who may be funny and wounded, the man who may look like one stereotype and live like something completely different. Because that is what people are. They are not the thing you guessed or you saw or experienced once. They are the person you have to learn. And if you are not willing to learn him, don't say you love him or care about him. Say you like the idea. Say you like the image. Say you like the skin. Say you like the size. Say you like the fantasy. Say you like what you thought he would be. But don't call that love. Love requires more than desire. Love requires more than attraction. Love requires more than curiosity. Love requires more than fascination. Love requires respect. And respect is the thing that stops your desire from turning someone into an object. So if there is one thing I want people to hear is this. Some people don't choose black men because they know us. They choose us because they think they already know what we're supposed to be. But a man is not supposed to spend his life proving he is real. A man is supposed to spend his life escaping someone else's imagination. Well, no, we're not. A man is not supposed to be reduced to skin, country, culture, body, rhythm, stereotypes, myths. He is supposed to be known. And if you cannot know him beyond a myth, then maybe you never wanted him in the first place. Maybe you only wanted the story you told yourself before he arrived. Take care, y'all. Hey, come check out You Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 ducks. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, well, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully, the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.